Well, hello and welcome. And as usual, you know, it's Monday, so I start a little bit late because I have to finish radio and quickly run across the road and come here and do this for God and country as well. But today we are looking at the rise in fatal accidents on our road, and we want to find out, is it the cause of the driver? Is it the cause of the road? Or is it just that we don't service our vehicles? What is causing it? And indeed, if you have WhatsApp these days, I'm sure once in a week, there will be some pictures going about some gory accidents where people are just, dead in the most horrific manner. And it's just one too many. If you look up how many cars we have on this side of the world, probably about 2 million cars, including trucks and everything all over. If you compare it to, let's say, the UK, where they have about 35 million cars within the same spate of land, and how many accidents we have here, something is not adding up. Something is not adding up. What is it that drives us literally to our death on a daily basis? And I'm here to interrogate this issue and open the discussion, because once it's an election year, we travel more, and if we travel more, we have more fatal accidents. How do we reduce it in this election year? My name is Nana Nsakwa the Fourth. When I come back, I'm talking to a man who is very passionate about health and safety and road safety in general. The move. Well, thank you very much for staying. And the rise of fatal accidents on our road. Is it the cause of the car, the road, or the driver, or the combination? What is it? But it's actually on the rise. Instead of going down, it seems to be climbing up. With me in the studio is Nana Ano Amehia, who is a road safety expert and also my senior brother.
Hello.
Nana, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you're looking very well.
Well, I can say the same of you. You're looking, you're looking wonderful.
You see that,
and the good Lord is blessing you.
Credit to my wife.
The good. Oh no, I was going to get to that.
I see. I see.
Yes, Nana, good to see you. It's been a while.
Good to see you too. But let me deviate a little bit before I come here, because I know you're very patriotic. I was just on radio, I was just talking about the promise of job creation. Everybody's promising that when I come, even the ruling government is saying, look, on my second round, jobs won't be a question of past. And so I spoke to Dr. Emmanuel Boating, who's a labor economist, an expert. And some of the statistics he gave me about the labor force: 25% have never been to school before, 24% just finished primary, 33% dropped out of JSS, and from SS to university and above, just 17% managed it. Yes. So when somebody says, I'll create jobs, you're asking, for who? Because the disparity, who are you going to create these jobs for? Because half the working population can't read and write. Yes,
it's very insightful. Your program was, when I was driving down, I was listening in, and it was superb. Everything was on point. The part or the bit that caught me thinking was the one that you talked about. Kwame Nkrumah created 600 factories and what have you.
61% of his labor force was uneducated.
Yes, you see, Kwame Nkrumah, in his over-exuberance, created a lot of factories, but we didn't have the skills to man those factories and improve upon them. So that's why in my view, most of them failed. Kwame Nkrumah's critics were saying that, look, yes, it's good to have these infrastructure, factories and what have you, but where are the men to run them? Because if you create the factories and you don't have the skill to run them, you run them down. I mean, many a time you see a lot of the SOEs that really have a potential of creating jobs for the teeming youth in this country. They fail because we don't have the skilled labor to run those things. And those, even at Kwame Nkrumah's time, it was worse. So now it ties in with the theme that you created, creating a bridge when you don't have the river to run under the bridge. And that's the situation that we find ourselves in now. But let me say this, because now we have we have got university graduates, we have people with triple masters, PhD, and what have you. But the factories are not there to contain this or to employ and engage these graduates and the skilled labor. So what are they doing now? They are now all turning into politics, because politics has now replaced the factories that we have deliberately killed off or sold off. And now everybody thinks that the best way, the quickest way to riches is through politics. And that's where we are in a bind, if I should say so.
I think one day I'll get you, then we talk extensively on that. But today we are looking at the rise in fatal accidents on our road. And I mean, I don't know. Is it that we are becoming a little bit more invincible? Because I see some of the driving, some of the overtaking, and some of the policemen, they drive past, what is causing it? You are on the field.
You see, when I hear people talking about accidents, I always want to correct that notion. You see, accidents just do not happen. They are caused by unsafe human behavior and unsafe road conditions. So we always attribute road crashes as accidents. Now, to my understanding, an accident is something, an act of God, something that you have no control over whatsoever. Then you call it, oh, it was an accident, because you were driving on the road and all of a sudden there's a big gape or a crater on the road and you drove into it and killed 70 people. That we attribute it to act of God and I call it an accident. But here, what we are seeing on our roads, we have the ability to do something about it, to prevent them. But we look away. As you rightly said, 2 million traffic population. Why do we have thousands of people being killed every year? And yet, anytime I lament on these issues, that really, people, when you talk about road safety, you're veering into politics. But everything we do as a human activity is politics. So, let me go into politics, and I'm going to go there, in a sense that if you, as a president of this country, it doesn't matter who is the current president or whoever, or those who are intend coming in to become president, and you run corporate Ghana, and your human resources, you need to build the country, and you sworn an oath to defend every single life and protect every single life, okay? And now, every year, your ministers tell you that you've lost 2,000 of this human resource that you need to build your country. And you look on and you don't put any interventions in place? That would be a very, I don't want to use for want for a better word, irresponsible president. Because, why am I saying this? In Korea, Koreans are not, South Korea to be precise, they are not endowed as we are in terms of natural resources and stuff like that. But Korea, 20, 30 years ago, when Kwame Nkrumah started with us, where was Korea? Korea was nowhere to be mentioned in terms of economic prowess. But now, Korea, South Korea, is really up there competing with the Americas of this world and what have you. But what are they doing it with? Not that God gave them all these resources that we have, but they use resources that we call human resources that they created themselves. They sent their teeming youth to the developed world, America, UK, and we even met some of them in the UK and stuff like that. The moment they finish their unis and what have you, they go back to Korea, and the Korean government resourced them to establish the IT businesses, electronic businesses, and what have you. But now look at them. Their per capita income is well in excess of what? $35,000? And we are lurking behind at probably, if I want to be conservative, about what, $1,600, if that. So if really you want to talk about road safety, and I believe why I always want to bring in the presidency, is that you have agencies under the presidency. Look at something like HIV. HIV is under the presidency because we have a lot of donor monies flooding in to the HIV agency. How many people are dying out of HIV? I don't think you have 500 Ghanaians dying out of HIV every year. Yet, we look away, seeing thousands of people being maimed on our road because of unsafe behavior and unsafe road conditions. Yet, we don't do anything about it. We just pay lip service, and then, 70 people have died. And the last time I checked, I can't see any country where in one particular crash, it's not a plane crash, you have 70 people, Ghanaians' lives killed in one single foul swoop. It's never happened anywhere. But in Ghana, it happens.
Crashes.
Pardon?
As not even in train crashes that carry,
yes,
lots of passengers.
Lots of passengers. But in one singular crash, you have 70 people killed. And since then, I would have thought those who run this country would come and say, hey, we cannot allow these things to happen on our roads. 70 people dead in one go? No, let's do something about it. Come. Minister of Transport, all the safety agencies, come. Let's go and think about how we can avoid this thing happening ever again on our roads. But life is as usual. Carried on, 30 people killed on the Kumasi-Konongo Road, 22 people dead here, and
it's too much.
No, I can't. These days, there's a new thing that I can't think far. Not think, but I can't think far. Oh, I can't think madness. It's crazy. Yet, these are the people that we need Ghana cannot be developed by anybody. I always make mention of Israel. The Israelis in the desert environment, it's now become paradise. It wasn't done by Ghanaians or Americans or Japanese. It's the Israelis themselves. So in Ghana, if we are prepared to sacrifice our human resources, an accident or road crashes, as it were, do not discriminate that, you are Nana from Adumasa, and then you are so and so from wherever, and then they will say, no, you would exonerate you from these crashes. Unfortunately, you see, when you talk about these things, you have to let people, you have to drum it home for people to understand the seriousness of road safety. Look, not so many months ago, probably a few 5 months or 6 months ago, we nearly lost the president's brother. Now, that would have been big news if the current president, brother, on the road had a crash and died. That one, I think it will shake some people to think. But because innocent people, bystanders are being killed, it doesn't shake anybody.
Let me start from, how do we start? Is it from the way we acquire a license? Is that where we should start from? More rigorous way before you can be allowed to drive? I don't know. How do we start? You see, it has a lot to do with our drivers on the road. Skills. If somebody who is behind the steering wheel is driving, and you're also behind the steering wheel, we have access on the road and equal rights on the road. And that person has gone through a pranky, for a better word, I don't know what a pranky, driver's mate.
Driver's mate. And he has no appreciation of road safety. He has no appreciation of hazard perception. What before a crash happens, you should be able to perceive a hazard that has the potential of creating a crash, to avoid it. But if you don't have the skills to be able to perceive them before you meet them, that will result in a crash. So basically, all these drivers, about 90%, if I can put my hand on my heart, to say that 90% of the commercial drivers that we have on our roads do not possess any iota of skill to be on the road, and they have no business to be on the road. So as I said earlier, if you have a combination of unsafe driver's behavior and an unsafe road condition, that will equals to a road crash. So in all of this, the state, if you really want to do something about it, and if I were the president, I would bring the National Road Safety Commission, who have been seeking to get an authority so that they will have a teeth to bite for the last 4 or 5 years, and nobody is minding them. Bring it under the presidency, like you have the Maslock, you have the HIV and whatever, and just keep a thumb on it and say, look, I want to invest or put my money where my mouth is, and ensure that National Road Safety Commission or National Road Safety Authority is well endowed with resources to ensure that all the black spots on our roads which are creating these road crashes, we remove them. Until we have a president who thinks that way, then we can speak and shout on the rooftops.
I mean, should it go all the way to the president? I mean, you have the MTTD who are out there, you know, checking driving license every 5 minutes.
No. You see, we work closely with MTTD, the National Road Safety Commission, and all the others. You see, sometimes people apportion blame to the MTTD when they don't have certain relevant information. So it's very easy to blame them. But everything out there, if you talk to the hierarchy of the MTTD, like last time we went, because you mentioned earlier, the political season is here. And anytime there's a political season, the stats have it that we kill a lot of people on our roads. Okay? So we tried together with National Road Safety Commission, the MTTD, to try and have an engagement with the political parties so that we can, you know, if not avoid, reduce that scenario when it comes to this year's the rush for the during the electioneering. But the Director General made a very bold statement, and I complimented him and said, look, I commended him and said, yes, this is the first time I've heard a police officer in uniform making such bold statement. He said, everything, I mean, the enforcement is there, we arrest the people, we stop the people, but when you stop 200, you only get about 3 in the courts. Because the politicians will come in, they will take the phone, and not only the politicians, Nana Dumasa will pick the phone. Oh, but sir, this is my brother. This is my son. Oh, he's one of our foot soldiers. So if in Ghana, nobody wants to be punished for anything, especially road offenses, then how are we going to enforce the road law? Because you know that if you know, as you've been in the UK, you know that if I mount a motorbike, which I'm an avid rider, I cannot go 1 kilometer if I don't put on helmet.
Yeah.
But here, you see, the presidency, around the presidency, it should be sacrosanct. Yet, when you see the president now going for his campaign, you see a whole host of motor riders riding around him, doing all manner of things, and not wearing helmet, and safety is actually thrown to the dogs. But if I'm managing the president, or I'm chief of staff of the president, when the president is moving, whether for official duties or for campaigning, I wouldn't want to see things that are illegal around the presidency. But they look on. And the same goes to the opposition. When they go on their soapboxes, law and order is something that belongs to somewhere else. They all, so these are
very serious.
No, yes. Look, and see, sometimes when you criticize government, or most times when you criticize government, people, they straight away brand you that way. But I sitting here as a passionate road safety advocate. I don't care who ox is God. Whether it's my father, is my party, is whoever that is at the helms of affairs, I'll criticize. Let me tell you what I did before people start branding you as a NPP and what have you. When we went to have this an engagement with these political parties at McLean Hotel only about a week ago and stuff like that. In fact, we started off going to see, solicit the help of both ex-President Kufuor and President Rawlings to try and assist us so that they can prosecute or engage with these politicians to try and minimize their activities so that they will not have fatalities and stuff like that. So it culminated in a small forum at the McLean Hotel. When we got there, we invited all the political party heads, not just low-ranking officers. We invited the general secretaries of the NDC, the MPP, and whatever. NDC, or the ruling government, managed to bring a low-ranking officer, deputy something, I don't even remember, to come. But the MPP didn't even give us the iota of respect to even bring a foot soldier to come and represent them. And I was very, very livid with that. It's because we are a party looking to come into office to govern us. And road safety is an issue, killing of people. So if we, as a commission, not as we are supporting the commission, I'm a road safety advocate, and I'm a passionate one for that. And also, I didn't even tell you that I'm now the national president of Ghana Institute of Safety and Environmental Professionals, in combining that with being a chairman of road safety advocates and Ghana and what have you. So I feel so strongly and have devoted the rest of my time that I have on this earth. I'm now 60, and I've devoted that to safety, to ensure that our environment is sanitized with all these unnecessary killings on the roads. And then if you go to the environment, it's not an area I want to even venture now, but we are now talking about road safety. So all these things, NPP, that somebody will say that if you criticize the government, you are then an opposition. But I was really livid talking about why NPP did not even give us an iota of respect by sending a representative to the forum. So
now I want to take a break here, and when I come, I want to go back to MTTD, and I'm going back like you're driving on the motorway, and all the big trucks are driving on the left, where they should clearly be on the right, so that you can overtake rather than undertake.
Oh, yes.
And you see the driver with his seat belt on, prodding on at 30 miles an hour, with no care in the world. And you're wondering, does it take the president to call the police to alert this driver that, listen, you need to be on the right-hand side because of how slow you're driving? Stay tuned. We're coming straight back. Well, thank you very much for staying. The important matter of health and safety, particularly on our roads. But before then, if it's Ghanaian, it's authentic. And Joy Prime brings you the Made in Ghana Fair 2016 in November at a location near you. So stand by, stand by, stand by. Get ready for an exhibition of all your Made in Ghana products, ranging from fashion, food, jewelry, and accessory, and many, many more. For more inquiries or to place your product during the event, please contact us on 0302 211 68028 68028 or 0243115109. The Made in Ghana Fair is brought to you by Joy Prime, sponsored by Almanac Company Limited, Treaty Ghana, and supported by Home Foods Processing Company. You don't want to miss out on this. If you have anything that's made in Ghana, you need to give them a call. But coming back to studio, talking to Nana Ame here, who's a road safety expert and passionate advocate for road safety. Nana, you see, I drive on the motorway a lot, and I just see heavy trucks driving on the left. And police cars will come and undertake rather than overtake.
Yeah.
And you just wonder, I mean, if you just can't simply police drivers just to drive on the right-hand lane, it's quite frustrating. I mean, that's all. Just tell slow vehicles, drive on the right. There's nobody in front of you. There's no traffic. So you just stay on the right. So,
Nana, it's good you talked about the motorway. I've done a lot of interventions on the motorway and stuff like that. You see, the simple thing is ignorance. A lot of the motorway users have no idea, no iota of idea, the lane discipline, how to drive on a motorway. Because really, to all intents and purposes, Nana, you don't have motorways in Ghana.
Well, technically.
That Tama motorway is just a nomenclature that we use that is a motorway. Because the level of service of motorway is deteriorated to a level we don't call it, it's a dual carriageway. And even dual carriageway, we don't even apply some of the discipline of driving on a dual carriageway. Because why I say that, the Tama motorway in its strictest definition, it's a high-speed access road, high-speed restricted access road, which means that you cannot have tricycles or mopeds flying that motorway. You cannot have trotters alighting, stopping and alighting and discharging passengers. You could not have truck pushers going on the motorway. You cannot have pedestrians crossing.
Cattle crossing.
You see, so why are we kidding ourselves and calling it motorway? You see, if you say somebody, there's a proverb, I don't want it's a little bit profane, but I don't want to put it on your on national TV. And otherwise I would have gone there. You see, if something is not, and you target at something, then if there's any unintended consequences, then you are the person who did that to blame. You see, you mentioned something about the MTTD, and I've now become a defender of the MTTD, now knowing their challenges that they go through. You said, you asked something that, is it the president that have to go out there to enforce? Of course, I'll say yes. Because the president, because he cannot go out there to do all the task that has been assigned to him, he appoints people. That's why he appoints ministers, he appoints IGP, and if he appoints the IGP, he tells the IGP, go and do this. And it doesn't matter who ox is God. If my daughter or my wife or my son or my bullet catcher, offends the law, arrest him and prosecute him, like the celebrated case of Princess Anne in 1976, when I had just gone to the UK. Now she was overspeeding, and she was actually stopped by a police constable, and she was prosecuted to court. Can you do that in Ghana? So when you say the president is all part of it, I'm afraid. Because if he gives a free hand to those people that he has appointed to go and do things, would you believe that if the president Cook goes out there and offend the road law, and the policeman stops him and he says, the moment is, I work at the presidency, I'm the President Cook, do you think they will process him for court? They wouldn't. So these are the things that we in Ghana, we are not respecting.
I agree we have that culture where somebody says, now, you know, I'm national security, I'm BNI, you know, even before you ask him, he'll show you the BNI. Yes. We have that. But even if that's, let's say, 10%, the 90% are normally just the ordinary
yeah, but it's the copycat. You see, for me, if, like, we had a Bloomberg, you know, the former mayor of New York, is that the Bloomberg philanthropist. They're trying to do something with AMA to try and reduce the carnage on our roads by piloting with AMA. You see, they came up with something and said, if we really want to get somewhere, the law should not be respecter of persons. If you break the law, you offend the law, you should be prosecuted. And that would send a clear-cut message to everybody that even the president's son offended the law and he was prosecuted. What about you, a pranky man or somebody on the street who you are nobody? Then that is how we need to tackle these indisciplines on our road. But if the people driving the V8s with the darkened glasses, they are using the shoulders of the road with impunity, Don't you think these people, the trotro drivers and the taxi drivers will also do same? And they say, well, but if this person is doing it and nobody is doing it, but if nobody dares goes on the shoulder of the road, who born dog? As we went to President Rawlings, I didn't know he's such a passionate road safety advocate. We commissioned him as a chief road safety advocate. So we tried. You see, who born dog? Even if ministers are seen in queues, that they are not jumping there, they are not going on the shoulders, and everybody will toe the line. But when you have ministers that we are paying them with taxpayers' money, that they're supposed to come and save us, now they are lording it over us as sheikhs of Arabia, Arabian sheikhs. So all that, it will destroy the moral decadent of society, and everybody think that if he can get away with it, why not? Because I can see why if a minister who is so-called is my servant can do those things and get away with it, and I, being the master, I can't do it. So those are the things that we need to safeguard against, because the ministers and the enlightened so-called elite class, they should know better, and for the others to follow.
With the ministers and this siren, I will come to you to find out, I mean, what's the legal use and who can use the siren. But before then, you see, the nature of punishment, is it not what is causing us to? Because let's say I'm driving to Adumasa and I'm caught over speeding in Atimpoku. I live maybe Accra or Takoradi. You were then asked to go, maybe you're caught on Tuesday. You have to go back to Takoradi, and then on Thursday come back to St. Court. There's no means for you to come back to Takoradi or Axim or Accra to come and face whatever penalty there is. That's all. Then you're better off just giving your 10 cedis and be done with it. I mean, if there was a way with which, look, I live in Dansoman, can I go to court in Dansoman? Or can you give me a proper fine so I know it's going to a proper channel? But to tell me, okay, you're coming to court on Thursday, park your car at the police station, hop in a trotro to where you're going, go back. I mean, when you do that, nobody's going to follow the rules.
Yeah, though it's not proper. It can be simplified. The penal system can be simplified or restructured. But I think if you committed offense in Takoradi and you live in Accra and you are asked to go back to Takoradi, I think it deepens the punishment. So you would think twice, breaking. If you look at it on the flip side.
No, but then it makes the guy, well, then take
well,
your
but then if that police officer who is stopping you, if he's not corrupted, or if he's not, he will not take the money. So then you know that, hey, I cannot bribe this police officer with 10 cedis, so I have to go, the inconveniences of driving from Adumasa to go all the way to Takoradi, to go and face the punishment there, will make you think twice breaking the law. But if you think that, oh, I'm a big man, I mean, and most, some of us have also been, I cannot really remove myself out of it, because, oh, the policeman in Ghana is trained to respect persons. They see you in your cloth and, oh, first probably they come and say, honorable, until they get closer, they say, oh, Nana, but I'm not going to say on national TV that I compromise them. But, these are some of the things that we do that does not augur well for curbing the menace on our roads. But for me, it's all about enforcement and education. If the people know, probably they may not commit those words. You see, it's all about the training. You see, last time at a forum, I made an example that if you look at the upbringing of other people, those people who are in their homes, when they remove, they have a banana, they peel a banana, they take it, they throw the peel there instead of putting it in a bin. Same way the bottled water, the wrap, they remove it, and then wherever, it doesn't matter where they are, they throw it on the floor. You see, the same argument goes, let me tell you something that is personal. My daughter, since age 3, or before she moved out from the booster seat, anytime she gets in a car, she has to buckle up. Now it's become part and parcel of her. She gets in the car. If I don't even buckle up before I put the ignition in the car, she won't let me put the ignition in the car. And she's spreading the thing amongst all her friends. If you go in the car and you see the child, oh, Papa, this boy or this girl is not wearing the seatbelt. And she will direct me when you're in traffic. Look, this boy hovering in between the two seats. So she's forever adverting my attention to these things that people are doing that is all right. So what I'm saying is that the upbringing, if people are inculcated with some of these safety issues from day one, that you can't do this, you can't do that, and whatever, that will be half of the problem solved. But you find a lot of people, be it ministers, be it whoever, what they do at home, the indiscipline that stemmed from home is what they bring out there to the public life.
Now, what's the use of siren in this country? Because I don't know. Every four-wheel drive now seems to have a siren in it, and I think the road with the most emergency, and if you agree with me, is the one, the aviation to Air Force Road. There's always an emergency or whatsoever, because every other four-wheel drive is driving by, tooting something.
Nana, you see, there's a Bible, the Road Safety Bible, road law. And luckily, this road law, LI 2180, was promulgated in 2012. 2012, by the current government in office, 2012, right? And what it says, section regulation 74.1. A person who drives a motor vehicle shall ensure that motor vehicle is fitted with an efficient electric or no. Well, okay, I don't want to take much time. Section 3. Sub-regulation 3. Despite regulation, a siren or bell may be fitted as a warning appliance and used on the following class of motor vehicles. A government vehicle used for official purposes by the head of state. Listen to it carefully. A government vehicle used for official purposes by the head of state.
Official
purposes by the head of state. It didn't say by a minister. Official purposes by the head of state.
So not even in his private...
No. B, a police vehicle. C, a motor vehicle used by the fire service. D, a motor vehicle used as an ambulance by a hospital or clinic.
Not much.
No. C, a motor vehicle used by other recognized government security agencies. Other government recognized, not incommunicado, recognized agencies. A bullion vehicle registered by the licensing authority. These are the categories of people that are mandated to use the red and blue lights, the siren lights. But what do you see? Now it's become a new trend, because the ministers largely ride V8 and the Land Cruisers, so they use the siren in there, and then the blue lights, and they will be flashing them and pushing everybody away on the road, because they are now our...
So are you saying they are breaking the law?
Of course. Of course. It's stated here. I'm not a lawyer, but what is stated is common sense will tell you that they are breaking the law. The law does not give them any authority to use those things on, to a large extent, that you come into even political parties, general secretaries, chairmen, and what have you, are using siren on our roads. I can name, but I don't want to make it whatever that you sound like, but you must name and shame, so that people know that these people, if I know that you have no right to use the siren on the road, and I'm on the road, you can't come and push me off the road, because I will not go off the road.
The mayor uses siren.
Yeah, the mayor, see, I said it here again, that if he does it, the Director General of the MTT, the commander of the, should arrest him, because he's breaking the law. He has no business using siren on our roads, because what is said here, this is the road law. And it doesn't matter who you are. We are all governed by laws. If there's no rules and regulations, there will be anarchy. So here, tell me, where in this is what I've just read to you, Nana.
There's no subsection that allows.
Is there any subsection? And then it says it also prescribe a punishment. A person who contravenes this regulation commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a fine of not more than 25 penalty units or to a term of imprisonment of not more than 30 days or to both. So the mayor should be in prison.
Technically.
Yes. So what sort of examples are we setting? Because tomorrow I find myself being a mayor, then I'll go and commandeer a motorcade. And he's not even doing, he has a whole motorcade that leads him, that's the Sheikh of Kuwait coming. So everybody go away, and then I want to tell people that anybody, these are the category of people that can use the siren. So I'm advocating that anyone whom you're on the road, be it, I don't care who, whether minister or whatever, that is blowing you away from the road, do not move an inch. Stay on the road and don't give them way. Because by giving them way, that's why they continue doing the illegal things or the irregularities continue.
But you may not know whether it's a minister or whether it's a president.
But see, and because we have so much reverence for the president, we've actually gone further to create a motorcade. A motorcade under the MTTD, especially for the presidency. So the president doesn't even have to put a siren on his official vehicle, because we have done that for him by a motorcade. And he's the only person that can use a motorcade. But we abuse the motorcade system. UK, you know the UK. Even ministers, we sit on the train to go, when they're going to work, we sit on the trains with them. But here, ministers have motorcades. A mayor has a motorcade, and everywhere. So these people who are serving us, who is serving who, and who is the master, who is the servant? No, there are so many things that I don't understand. But as an advocate, I don't care who ox is God. I will say it, and say it boldly and courageously without any care.
So basically, the fish is rotting from the head.
Precisely. So our road, the menace on our road. You see, last time when we went to this meeting, the forum that we wanted to engage the political parties to share ideas with them and show them the things that they could do, that the National Road Safety Commission has researched and wanted to pass on to the road, whatever. When the meeting was set up, 9:30, I was there at 9:25 for the meeting. They started probably around 11:15. Because the big men, so to speak, felt, oh, me, I'm a big man, I'll go to a meeting anytime. And the Korean ambassador at a function said that our indiscipline stems from the fact that officials, high-ranking officials, do not turn up in meetings on time. So I went out there when I got the opportunity. I spoke against it. And even look how serious this Minister of Transport. The Minister of Transport supposed to be at the meeting, but he didn't find it important to be at such a crucial meeting that involved politicians, that he, the minister, should come and grace the occasion so that we see the importance of the meeting or of the engagement. He didn't come. He sent up a low-ranking officer from the Ministry of Transport, whatever. But he find it his business to go and talk about finance. Is he a minister responsible for finance? I'm sure we have enough people out there to talk about finance and setting the record straight.
Is it
so the point I'm making that we should, or the presidency or the ministry should attach importance to the people that are being killed on our roads. And forget about all this. So road safety is just a peripheral thing. It's just so we don't, send this, they will look around. Who is there? Send this low-ranking officer, let him go. But if you really care about the people that you need, the human resource you need to develop your country, and they are being killed, don't you think you would attach more importance to it?
Is it because we who are being killed don't attach enough importance to it? Maybe those who are in the trotros, those who are in the buses, haven't jumped up and down and said, listen, we are being driven to our death and therefore do something. So if you are being killed and you haven't said anything, then maybe I'll also go to sleep.
You see, they say he who is down, fear no fall. Because the people that really bought the trotros, and you see, if like when I went to the north, Tamale, I was so frightened to see that these tricycles that are meant to carry pure water and all stuff like that, they've put benches in them, and they will carry about 20 passengers in those unstable tricycles, carrying passengers.
Wow. And
people are happy to patronize those tricycles and boarding them as a passenger carrying vehicle. You see, so basically the people who are really whose voices should be heard, really don't really think too much about themselves and about their personal safety. So, hey, anything that would take me from point A to point B, whether it's rickety or whether it conforms to the law or whatever, hey, it's a favor as people deem it. Because somebody I heard on the radio today that from Buisa, the road is so terrible that if you are lucky to have a vehicle that is going to traverse the terrain for about, 30 kilometers or 60 kilometers, and in whatever shape or form, it's a privilege to get that thing to move you from point A to point B, isn't it? So whether the tires are bored as my head, or whether it is roadworthy or not, you board it. So to a large extent, you can't blame the people who are patronizing these rickety vehicles. But we as a people, the people who are the so-called enlightened people who have been charged to manage the state, should ensure that they should look after, it's not only the rich that the state should take care of, but the poor and the destitute as well should be also taken care of, and they should also share in the national cake.
We're caught in a vicious cycle then. Here we are with those at the top who are supposed to look at those at the bottom. They are breaking the rules.
Yes.
Those at the bottom are, like you said, destitute and, are even lucky to hop in this 3 cycle. So who's going to speak for them? Who's going to cause that change?
No, I'm speaking for them. And I as an advocate, a passionate one for that matter, I don't care, as I keep saying, I don't care whose ox is God. Because I'm not going out there to look for political favors. I'm not going out there to look for contracts from government. So it doesn't matter who government is in place, be it MPP government or NDC government. I'll say it, and my voice today, if those in government, they hear me criticizing them, tomorrow, if the government is changed, my voice will not change to suit any particular government. I will say, ensure that the plight are we too poor for the change? Nana, you asked a very deep question. Are we too poor
for the change?
For the change.
I mean, if there's only motorcycles going to some village and you tell them, well, you're breaking the law, so no more motorcycles, are the old ladies going to do that 10-kilometer stretch now? So,
see, we don't have time, but looking at the clock, you see, one thing that I said to myself, that you must be innovative in our thinking, in our way of doing things. Look, if I were President Mahama, when you launched this, the SADA zone and stuff like that, the first thing I would have done, Tamale is the most suited place for a tram because it's flat land and you can easily put, let's say, $50 million as a pilot. And 8 years ago, if they had started Tamale and used the public transport system that they are bringing, the BRT, if they had started the tram is one of the safest and pollution-free transport system that they have started in Tamale. By now, 8 years on, it would have spread to most parts of the northern region, and the president would have been hailed as the one who has brought transportation interventions in the 3 northern regions. And for that, he can fight any election on that record. But what do we see? Now, the introduction of Mahama Kambu, that we know in Pakistan, in India, in Bangladesh, on a daily basis, people are being killed like rats in these tricycles dubbed, and people are so happy and proud to dub it as Mahama Kambu, which if I was the president, I would not even put my name on a tricycle or a contraption that has been prohibited by law. regulations 128 of this same thing prohibit the usage of tricycles for commercial transport. Yet, in the Green Book of Achievements, the President has put in there that he's alleviating poverty in the 3 northern regions by commissioning Mahama Kambo as taxis.
Well, Nana, on that note, I want to say thank you very much. And I hope that this discussion will continue, and very soon rather than later. But I think it has to start from you and I who are on board the buses. We need to value our lives so that those at the top would also place some value on it. Otherwise, if we are not jumping, they already have their sirens in their cars and they are much safer. But my shirts are sponsored by Tantees Fashion. You can find them at Nyaho Clinic and just by the railway crossing at Nyaho Clinic. And it's 024-366-2001. 024-366-2001. Give Tantees Fashion a call. Tell them you want a shirt just like what Nana Sakwa was wearing. And wherever you are in the country, they'll post it to you. Nana, thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
I look forward to hosting you again.
It's a pleasure.